Okay, guys, we today will talk about some issues and topics in philosophy again, psychology, introduction to philosophy. We are having topics like existence of God, problem of evil, change and permanence. These are issues that people, philosophers, have tried to talk about, right? Yeah. So persons like like topics like existence of God. There are positions. Does God exist? Does he really? Are we sure he exists? There are theories, existentialists or theories that have come to explain how and why God exists. I will talk about that. So we have the ontological theory. The ontological theory, there you see Thomas Aquinas. They say that there is a necessary being and that we are contingent being. That God exists. That he exists as a necessary being because he caused himself. Cause, C-A-U-S-E. He caused himself. Why? We are dependent on him because he created us. Contingent being. That is the ontological theory. Then the teleological theory is we call it the theory argument from design. Argument from design. This particular one is saying that that if you check how the world is built and designed, you know that there is a master artist that built this. You know there is a reason why there is not just a coincidence that things are like this. That is what in Romans chapter 1 that St. Paul was talking to the heathens who have not received the gospel, and he was like, the nature preaches him the existence of God. But they refused to acknowledge him as God and started worshiping that which is created. He was saying, from this teleological point of view, the argument from design, that when you see the stream pushing towards the river, and the river connecting to the ocean to the sea, and down the mountain through the fountain, and the noise, and the sky is painted blue and red and dark at night, and so with two lights and every other thing, and the ocean, the valley, the flowers. If you check all these things from a height, I think he's saying, according to this theory, that it is enough for you to have a worship experience. Yeah, it's enough for you to know and come to understand that God exists. That is this theological theory, that the world is so beautiful and so well designed. The mountains, the valleys, the wildlife, their beauty, their nature, everything, the way it's built, is enough for you to know that somebody has designed it this way. Then we have argument from morality. The argument from morality is trying to say that if you and I are able to know good from bad, don't you think there is a big force that have the ultimate moral, that created the ultimate morality? Then we have the Christological theories that talk about the prophets of the prophecies enlisted by Muhammad, the prophecies of Jesus Christ, and all of those things. Even his resurrection has occurred, even the prophecies of Muhammad that have come to pass, and all the prophets that have said some things and they have come to be, is enough for you to know there is a force that instilled those things in them. These are the little theories under existence of God I could relate with now. So, on the other hand, existence of evil. Now start questioning. Remember, we are talking about philosophy. Philosophy is not here to dissuade you or to discourage you from your beliefs. It's here to fine-tune your beliefs. If philosophy succeeds to discourage you that God does not exist from the arguments, then you don't have roots. You don't know what you believe in. You only know that you are born into the belief. You are born, you're a Christian or you're a Muslim because you are born into a Muslim family or into a Christian family. But the reasonings, reflecting on your beliefs That's Thomas Aquinas said we should reason our faith, reason it, right? So, existence of evil is trying to doubt if God is, we say is omnipotent, we say is omniscience, and we say is omnibenevolent. Omnibenevolent, too kind, he doesn't want us to suffer. Too so lovely and so kind, he doesn't want us to suffer. Omnipotent, he can stop all the evil. He has the power. Omniscience, he even knows where the problem will start from, and he can stop it before it starts. Now, how do you convince me that such omnipotent, omniscience, omnibenevolent God exists? Omnibenevolent that doesn't want me to suffer, omniscient that knows where the problem is coming from, and omnipotent, a God that can stop all the problem from evil from happening, and yet they exist. How then do you convince person, a philosopher, logically that this exists? This is, if you can fine-tune this and come out victorious with your belief, then you will go far with anything you believe in. Yeah, I'm a witness, right? So imagine, these philosophers, there are hidden philosophers, and we have Christian philosophers that have brought also valid argument and counter against these arguments. So if with time I will try to take you through that, because it will be very essential. David Hume said something. Look at the logic. Remember, philosophy deal with logic, right? Mathematics, right? Look at it. He said, God is willing and not able. Remember, we are saying God is willing to stop it, that's omnibenevolent, and able, that is omnipotent, right? And David Hume said, God is willing and not able. Conclusion, therefore, he is impotent. He's not omnipotent. And he said again in the second line, God is able and not willing. Then he's not omnibenevolent. He's malevolent. He's wicked, right? Now he said, God is able and willing. He now comes with the question, from whence come the evil in the world? The question still stands. If he's able to stop them and he's willing to, and doesn't want you and I to suffer, where then do all this evil come from? I know you guys are good philosophers. Please flow with me as we go, right? This is a little logical argument, right, about problem of evil. Second one, we have a longer one, where another logic. The first one says, God is omnibenevolent. God is omniscience. God, number 3, God is omnipotent, right? Number 4, omnipotent has the power to stop all the evil. Number 5, omnipotent omniscience knows where the problem is coming from. Number 6, omnibenevolent is kind and not wanting us to go through those evil. And number 7, evil exists. Logical conclusion, God does not exist. That's their conclusion. So that, according to them, that omnibenevolent, who is loving and doesn't want, and has the power and knows where to, and all this evil, when we talk about the evil, we're talking about the accidents, the plane crash, the tornadoes, the mom, okay, I'm going to school, and the whole kidnaps, and from school they were kidnapped, and the parents are crying, and all of those evil, right? All of those things. Where then is this all come from? And how do you convince me that there is such a God existing? And they concluded, logically, God does not exist. That is the argument and this philosophy. We have people like I'm trying to remember his name. Gottfried Leibniz, if I'm correct. Gottfried Leibniz, this person supplied an answer to these questions. They said that omnibenevolent, that omniscience, that omnipotent do really exist. And reason you are asking the question, where is the evil then coming from? And why is people dying this way? Why are they existing? And he's saying that the omnibenevolent, omnipotent, omniscient allow these things you are seeing as little evil to prevent greater evil. That is his argument. That why this exists is to avert greater evil. What is his conclusion? For example, the story of Joseph in the Bible that went through little evil. As a matter of fact, those are little evil, denial by family, jailed and accused illegally, or yes, accused and not even tried by Potiphar, right? But all this evil he went through was as a reason for him to be able to protect greater evil, which was a famine that would have threatened the existence of the whole entirety of man. Not only the Egyptians, but the Israelis and every other human on earth. Lasting for 7 years, all other countries have to come to Egypt to buy and to eat. That is the greater evil that would have befallen the whole world if the smaller evil was not allowed by the omnipotent, omniscience, and omnibenevolent God. That is the supply and submission of Gottfried Leibniz as a Christian philosopher. And that is very logically satisfying, right? But then, philosopher doesn't stop there. Now, the question they ask again, if these things, and again, another argument, another answer they brought, the Christians, or let me say, other philosophers brought again, is that they believe that man, argument from free will, that man is born with free will. Free will. That we are born with free will to do what we want to do. Right? Now you telling me that it is a God that does not exist that resulted to the evil that took the life of a driver that took the life of 18 persons in a bus. Now tell me, the driver has the free will for to drink or not to drink before driving. But he did the whole drinking and entered the steering and off he goes. And the rest is history. Now, man is born with free will. If God, as omnipotent, omniscience, and omnibenevolent, mediates too much in man's life, he is obstructing or distorting the law of nature, which he himself has predicated or presided everything upon. Right? So he doesn't want to alter the world or the nature. He gave us, choose this, good and bad. Choose this life, choose this one. Do this and it's fine. Do this, but it is not by fault. It is a free will. Right? So, this is another example, reason why you will see a lot of evil. The envies and everything, and the killings and the murders and every other anomalies that happen in the system. This is why they occur, and not as a reason of inexistence of an omnipotent, benevolent, and science God. Right? So, but like I was saying initially, they didn't stop there. Your reasoning must be fine-tuned to get to the next level. And that is what a good student of philosophy will come out very refined in your reasoning. Now, the argument they came again, if you say we are born with free will, if you say it's because of our greed or inadequacy or the mischievous life of the driver that destroyed the life of many, or the bad road as caused by the bad government or by the inappropriateness of the whatever the plane that crashed, and every other bombing or ozone layer destroyed by men that is reason for the cancer and every other thing. Now the question is, what of the child that was born today with brain tumor? Has he known anything? Has he caused it? What is his fault? Or how has he come to have such a pain and evil on his head, almost going through a pain all his life, if he's going to survive it? Has he a free will to determine that too? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I'll be expecting your own response at the comment box in regards to this question. What do you think, please? Right? Nevertheless, we understand that most of these brain tumors are maybe from child, or like children that came out with some fetal alcohol syndrome, or crack babies as we call them, or all of those other congenital diseases could be as a reason of lifestyle of the parents who had the free will to still get a healthy lifestyle or unhealthy one, reason to some of the congenital diseases. I'm not trying to supply the answer, but I'm trying to make you understand or expect your own comments and arguments about the God that exists or does not exist, right? So, but we know that he exists. Okay, so this is the size of it. Subscribe and like, and please, your comment and your questions and your response to my question will be very key to what we are doing. Before I conclude, I want to make a statement. So a story goes in Anambra State of high killers that had a problem with a man, maybe their fellow drug dealer, and they went to a church and opened a shop and shut down a lot of church members, and then killed a lot of people, including the father, to the man they are looking for. And this was a church that the man used his money, the man in question they are looking for, built and was splashing money the day they opened it, and a lot of people were grabbing money and a lot of things and celebration, and his father was made a knight, and before he knew it, not knowing that he ate the money, according to the story, right? Now, my story is this. With all this killing inside the church, the blood rushing and everything, a woman of 58 years took to the media, social media, and wrote, "Serving a God that cannot protect his own is a total waste." Now my question is she right or wrong? Understanding if that her 58 years of life was simply, I am a Christian because I'm born in a Christian community or in a Christian family, not knowing the root and the genesis of her belief, not understanding the philosophy behind it and everything, that understand that even the Christ that brought the Christianity was crucified and many of his disciples were martyred, and even the European that brought it, many died in the forest through mosquito and every other thing. Now, it is time as we go through our school days to understand that our beliefs must be fine-tuned beyond, I am born into it, a Christian, a Muslim. If you don't understand the spirit you believe in, then the day the shaking will come, just the way this woman's faith was shook to the roof, you may be found wanting. And that is where I'll end today's, and see you in other videos. Thank you very much.